Imperfect Thriving, episode 62, 5 tips to up your self-care game right now. I'm Katherine Ely, former attorney turned licensed counselor and coach. Oh yeah, and recovering perfectionist. It wasn't long ago that my self-criticism and fear kept me from having the self-worth, confidence, and courage to make my life my own. Through life lessons learned and by going back to school in my 40s, I am finally enjoying my life in a way I never thought possible, and it is amazing. I want you right here with me. No need for you to go back to school either. I created this podcast to show you the way to the imperfect thriving kind of life, based on what you value, filled with self-worth, confidence, way more joy, and no more regrets. So let's go. I have an exciting announcement to share with all of you. The Blueprint to Thrive Values Journal and Organizer is out in the world. You can find it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can order it from any of your local booksellers. My friend and business partner, Teresa Magnus, and I created this value journal as sort of a home base for your mental and physical wellness. I got really tired of working with clients, helping them with my morning and weekly mindfulness routines to stay on track with living their values. So I would get them to bring in their favorite organizer or calendar, and we would work with that and try to fill in the blanks and come up with a routine that my clients could stick to. And finally, I just thought, why don't I create one that does both, that has the fold-out monthly 2-page calendar, but then a daily page, which also includes your morning mindfulness routine, and then a weekly mindfulness routine where you examine your domains very quickly each week and figure out what actions are going to take for you to live a more satisfying life. We put all of that together with the building blocks for physical and mental well-being, reminders of what you must do to be at optimal physical and mental health, step-by-step instructions on how to create your morning and weekly mindfulness routines, and a step-by-step guide on setting short-term and long-term goals to achieve the life that you imagined only in your dreams, with a focus on each domain and living your values. And it is in a hardbound cover because I'm tired of carrying around organizers where the papers get frayed on the ends because they stick out farther than the cover. So I have a cover that goes beyond the pages of the organizer so that it will stay nice and the pages won't get ruined, and so that you can keep it from year to year. I keep my calendars because I want to be able to go back and refer to them, especially doctor's appointments and medical information and things like that, all of which you can keep in this organizer. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you to get your very own today, or to order one for someone special in your life. I've already ordered them for everyone in my household. Super excited about it. I hope you like it, and do me a favor and DM me on Instagram and let me know what you think. Ernest Hemingway said, "The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too." Why do women struggle so much with self-care? Do you ever find that you have so many things to do each day that you never get to the things that you want to do for yourself, like exercise, eating healthy meals, getting a pedicure, cozying up with a book on the sofa in front of a fireplace? Why is it so hard for us women to put ourselves first at times, to listen to our bodies, our hearts, and our minds, and give ourselves what we need? Self-care has never been more important than it is now. The New York Times reported that 1 in 3 jobs held by women has been designated as essential. And women holding these jobs are often underpaid and undervalued. Even those women not on the front lines are experiencing disproportionate amounts of emotional labor with job plus children at home doing online school. Between work, kids, school, and everything else we have to do, we feel like we always have to be on guard. We always have to be ready. I love the term emotional labor. I think we as women discount the toll that emotional labor puts on us. We tend to put everyone else first, children, spouse, parents, friends, even pets, because we've learned that that's what a good woman does, right? We feel guilty or self-indulgent if we take time to care for our own needs. Does this happen to you? I know this is something that I've struggled with over the years. I remember when my first child was born, it was difficult for me to take the time to take a shower because I felt like I needed to be available at a moment's notice to meet his every need. Not only are we taught that women should put others first, we often see the message of self-care in advertising directed at women, generally as a sales pitch for something we don't need. But we're told we deserve it. So it makes sense that we would associate the practice of self-care with pampering or being indulgent. It is not a want. It is a necessity. It's time to view self-care differently, as our right. After all, it really just is taking care of yourself, which is vital for health and well-being. More specifically, self-care means identifying and meeting your own needs. Most of the time, we don't take time to identify what we need, what fills us up inside. Through my practice, I help many women and men move away from anxiety and depression and toward more satisfying and fulfilling lives. When we look at the domain of mental and physical well-being, I often find that women are not taking care of themselves the way they want to or the way they know they need to. I've seen a pattern in these clients. The reason they never get to their own self-care is because of a lack of self-value. A limiting belief that often gets in the way of women and self-care is that self-care is selfish, and we definitely don't want to be selfish. Self-value and self-care are inextricably connected. If you value yourself highly, you will prioritize your own self-care. You will listen to your body and your mind and give both what they need to recharge, to be the best version of yourself for you and for those you love and for those you take care of. If you do not value yourself highly, then exercise, eating healthy, or just taking time to do whatever brings you joy or lifts you up does not happen. It is the one thing that you never get to on your list of to-dos. So why is self-care so important? Well, chronic stress wreaks havoc on our health. It weakens the immune system and inflames the body, making us more susceptible to colds, weight gain, sleep issues, stomach ulcers, depression, diabetes, and heart disease. And let's face it, when we are stressed and worn down, convenience beats good choices. I know you know what I'm talking about. If I am running around frazzled and I have overscheduled myself, I am much more likely to grab something out of the pantry or the refrigerator that is not a great choice. So not only is our body suffering due to stress and inflammation, it's that we are more likely not to exercise and to eat unhealthy foods when we are stressed. We can't show up for others the way we want to when we're depleted. We must fill up our own cups and let others drink from the saucer instead of letting everyone drain our cup dry. When we have been trained not to value our own self-care, how do we break the habit of putting ourselves last? Well, first, having the understanding that just because we have been taught to put ourselves last does not mean that we have to continue to do so. And putting ourselves first at times does not mean we are selfish. You can still be an amazing and even more effective caregiver by taking the time to care for yourself. And you are the only person who can put your own self-care first. Second is recognizing that if you do not value yourself as much as you could, so I have the ultimate self-value worksheet attached in the show notes that you can print and fill out to remind yourself of your own worth, why you're special, important, and deserving. Now, what are some ways we can practice self-care right now? I intentionally use the word practice because self-care is an acquired skill and it does take practice. Tip number 1, practice self-compassion. Start by checking in and listening to your mind, your body, and your heart. When you wake up in the morning, ask your mind, what do I need today? Ask your body, what do you need today? Is it rest? Is it exercise? What is it? Ask your heart what it needs. Does it need connection with those who are special to you? Does it need to reconnect with why you should love yourself? No one knows better than you what you need, but oftentimes we only ask our minds and we leave the other parts of us out of the equation. So ask your heart, ask your body, ask your mind what you need today. That is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is mindful eating. Eating transitions from a mindless practice of filling the void, both physical and emotional, to a pleasurable experience of tasting and enjoying food. Less food is needed to feel satisfied, and addictive foods lose their power. Put some time and energy planning the type of foods you want to put in your body. How do you want your body to perform for you? Feed it the necessary fuel. This is one way that you can really show yourself your own self-value, that you value who you are by valuing what you put in your body. So that's tip number 2, practice some mindful eating. Tip number 3, get in touch with your values. What are your values when it comes to your own self-care? Do you want to be a healthy role model for your children? Do you want to have the energy to pursue your life purpose? Do you want to be the best version of yourself? Why is self-care important to you? If you are clear on your why, it is much easier to follow through with the action. So, tip number 3, get in touch with what you value when it comes to your own mental and physical well-being and self-care. Tip number 4, prioritize self-care and make it a non-negotiable, then set boundaries to protect it. You know, when you make a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, you put it on the calendar and you schedule around it. You don't say, well, I'm going to go to this appointment if nothing else comes up that bumps it out of the way. You put it on your calendar and you go to the appointment. Your self-care time is every bit as important to your health and overall well-being as going to the doctor and the dentist. Schedule self-care on your calendar before your week fills up. Then, when your schedule is full, protect your self-care time. Don't let go of it. What happens when you do everything you can for everyone else all of the time? People take advantage of you even if they don't do it intentionally. They keep pushing your boundaries until you are willing to draw a firm line in the sand. It is easy to never draw that line when you're not clear on what you want and what you need. Protecting your well-being is essential to self-care. By setting boundaries on your time, your space, the people you surround yourself with, and your energy, you can teach the people you care about how to treat you. When you do this consistently, people will know when you're unavailable because you're taking care of yourself. They will learn to respect this, and they will learn to respect you. In fact, they may even learn a new practice themselves. Imagine you are a woman who takes time every morning to spend the first hour of her day in self-reflection, exercise, and reading, setting herself up for an amazing day. How do you think she will feel as the day unfolds? even if she faces obstacles that could derail her. She is going to feel self-assured, self-reliant, and dare I say, empowered. That is tip number 4. Prioritize self-care, make it a non-negotiable, and set boundaries to protect it. On to tip number 5. Change how you talk to yourself. Another important piece of self-care is the way you express yourself to yourself. How do you talk to yourself? It starts with becoming your own best friend and cheerleader. Be kind, be forgiving, care enough about you to take care of you, and believe that you are worth it. There are many ways to take care of yourself beyond a bubble bath, beyond a manicure. It might look like a walk in the woods or the beach, just feeling the sand beneath your toes, walking your dog around the neighborhood, just being still for a while, taking a moment out of your busy day to listen quietly to a guided meditation. Buy yourself flowers, arrange them, and sit with a cup of tea, just taking in their fragrance. Slow down your pace. Breathe deeply. Become more mindful of what you're doing and enjoy living in that present moment. Enjoy that experience, however small it is. Move your body in ways that relieve stress for you. For some, this might be running and hiking. For others, it might be yoga and Pilates. It might be stretching or lifting weights at the gym. Be creative, whatever that might mean for you. Engage in an activity that you love doing. Allow yourself the grace to take an hour or an afternoon and immerse yourself in something fun and mindless. We don't always have to be productive. Sometimes being unproductive is the most productive thing you can do. Surround yourself with people who make you laugh. Get a new hairstyle. Get a massage. And most importantly, find time to allow yourself to dream. We dream as children. It's automatic to be creative and imaginative. And somehow, as we become adults, we sort of drop it as child's play, as something that we don't need. But believe me, I used to not take the time to dream, and just taking a few moments several times a week to dream about what I want my life to look like in the future motivates me to move forward. So especially take time to dream. And if you're new to this, try different things to fill your cup. Treat it as an experiment. See what works for you, then do more of it. Remember, it's a practice. You're not going to be perfect at it. My hope is that the one imperfect action that you take today is take time to value yourself and show yourself some love. Ask yourself, what do I need today? And give yourself the time and the grace to do it. And I will see you right back here next week. Go out and take imperfect action toward the life that you want. If you are enjoying this podcast, would you take a moment to go to iTunes and subscribe? It is so easy to do, and it would mean a lot. This podcast is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information with regard to the subject matter covered. This is given with the understanding that neither the host or guests are providing legal, mental health, or other professional information. If you need a professional, I encourage you to reach out to one.